Howdy everyone, Poacher here with an Age of Magic video, and in today's video I'm just going to talk about a few things that I've really appreciated about the game lately, some things that PlayCode have done that on the most part just, I don't want to say they're overlooked. I think the people that realise how good they were do appreciate it, but as it is in most cases, things that are appreciated are voiced much less than things that are not appreciated. You will always see more hate towards something than you will see love. It's just the way it is. People who are angry are more vocal than people that are happy. So I think these things do need to be mentioned. Amongst other things, they have been quite beneficial to the community. So we'll start with the Tomb of Horrors. Number one, we have the Arcane. What is it? Tomb of Arcane. Now, this has given players the opportunity to grind out Arcane stars. Now, mind you, it is a grind. It is a grind. But there is not a single thing wrong with that. Games should respect a player's time commitment to the game. It has been the way since gaming has been introduced. You play the game longer, you become better at it, you unlock more things. It is just the way it is. And a game that respects that, no matter how grindy it is, it's something that all games need. A perfect example of this is World of Warcraft. There are factions in the game that you can gain reputation for. And to become exalted, the absolute max you can be with that faction, you need to grind for weeks. Weeks and weeks. And I'm talking, this is tedious grinding, killing mobs, the same thing, over and over and over. You just sit there. You rot your life away. But in doing so, the game rewards you with special items, titles, achievements. To a person that plays games, these things have value. Tomb of Horrors, the new version, the Arcane one, is like that. Yes, it is a grind festival, but by doing so, you are rewarded with Arcane stars. So I love to see something like that put into the game. The second thing that came around was an event that was similar to a campaign. It had nodes, and by clearing those nodes, you were receiving power orbs, and you were receiving the currency needed to open equipment chests. This was so good for players. The amount of orbs you could get, the gear chest the currency for the gear chest you could get, it was definitely putting some speed into progressing your account. And Age of Magic progression is very slow, especially when you get towards the end game. Now, that, to me, and this is my personal opinion, didn't break the game in any way. You had an energy system. You could buy more energy with gold. There might have been energy packs. I'm not sure. I didn't pay that much attention. But the game, late game, is extremely prolonged. It takes a long time to gear up heroes. And the perfect example of this is Gear 15. Go through the game. How many players actually have a Gear 15 hero? I can promise you, not many. Not many at all. For how long Gear 15 has been out, it is a rare thing to see. I think on my account, I have 3, maybe close to 4. And it has been out for months. Months. So the fact that they've added a game mode that is going to help, even if it's slightly, get people into Gear 13, 14, and I'm just gonna say 15. Beautiful. The game needs it. It is old content. It's becoming old content. It should not be as rare as it is. And thirdly, we have the Witchy Time event. Now, I'm not gonna lie. The last time an event got me excited was the original Lunar Time Festival. The introduction of Pig Boy, the introduction of Wukong. It was the first time we ever got a aesthetically pleasing UI. The background, as you can see, the background at the moment is the Halloween theme. That was the first time back in the day we ever saw a change like that. It was exciting. It had its own event, skins. I think skins were still kind of just being introduced to the game at that point as well. So we got heaps of skins that we could have got. And it was an exciting time. And since then, I honestly haven't been excited about an event. Number one, because they mostly copy the previous events and they just change the theme. And the events themselves don't carry much value. They don't. You get a new hero, you can get some new skins, you can get a few items here and there that are valuable. So it is what it is. It just is what it is. But Witchy Time came around, and I think many people were surprised because even though it has the same structure as the Luxury event, as the Blade event, it carried more value to me personally than any of those. And it's because of what they added to the shop. And we can go and have a look at that. So if we go in, we go to the shop. Now, we have your standard things. These are just always going to be here. You can't argue that. But let's shoot down to the end. Number one, we have witches that you can buy. You can buy all the witches except for Lilith. This is huge. This is massive. This is allowing players who do not own these characters a gateway into getting them. The real strength for these characters, let's be honest, comes from Gear 13, 14, 15 and the Arcane stars. There is no disadvantage. And again, this is just what I assume. There is no disadvantage to Playcott by allowing people to farm these heroes. They're a valuable faction, and what do you lose by people unlocking them? In fact, I believe you'd make more money from having people unlock them, because now they are put in a position where they do need to gear up these heroes, get the Arcane stars for these heroes, to make them a proper usable faction. But for a new player, a mid-game player, this is beautiful. This is going to be good enough to get them into the game. They can start working on gear for these heroes and breaking into that late game scene. The R5, if the clans that are still doing the R5, and Nightmare Raid. This is one of the usable factions in Nightmare Raid. Yes, I understand they still need a lot of work from this point, but it's getting players the characters. 7 gold stars on a hero, whether they are the oldest hero or literally Felix himself. 7 gold stars, how valuable is that really? An endgame player getting a 7 gold star hero, that hero is not usable in any means. 7 gold stars is nothing to an endgame player. You cannot use them in arena. There are cases where people still throw them into a team because they're, getting one ability off is worth more than any other hero you put in the team. But their strength is abysmal. They're going to die instantly. They're going to be targeted by the AI. There is no weight behind them. 7 gold stars should almost, at the age of this game, be free. Or at least be easily farmable. It's the Arcane stars and the gear that is what is the roadblock. So this is amazing. I love this. I love that players can actually earn these heroes, can farm these heroes. And I really hope going into the future that these events have a little more access to heroes in the game, because it gives a lot more value to the currency as well. Number 2, we have the prisms. I don't think anyone expected to see prisms. So plentiful. It doesn't even have a limit on it. You can get prisms, which I'm sure it will be changed in the future if they ever bring something like this back. But the fact is, it's given value to this event. People can earn these tokens, can buy prisms. And I don't know, you unlock 1, 2, 3 skills, arcane skills. Again, what impact is that having to the game? When we're releasing 2.5 heroes a month, I believe it is. I think it's 2.5. I think that's what you'd add it up to. 2.5 heroes. Let's be generous and round it down to 2. You're releasing 2 heroes a month. Let's go again generous and give them the 4 skills minimum, basic, 2 specials, and a passive. 2 times 4. That's 8 skills. Overall, you've got 8. What's that? Wait, I'm confusing myself. 8. That's 1,600 prisms. 1,600 prisms to max them out. And then you throw in as well the Book of Life event that's coming around now. I think we're getting, 1 a month, give or take? Let's say 1 a month. All right, we'll throw 4 skills in for that, though it's discounted, mind you. So that's another 400 prisms. So 2,000 prisms a month to keep everyone up to date. Every new hero up to date. And that's not including leadership abilities and the heroes that do come around with an extra special skill thrown in, or the sneaky second passive. So 3-4 unlocks on skills compared to the 20 skills, or what is it? 4, 8, oh no, 12 to 15 skills we're getting a month. I mean, maybe you could knock this down a little bit, but I really don't see it impacting the game in a detrimental way. I think it's, again, going to help players enter the late game, which is where the value from the business side is. Late game. That's where you're going to be making money from a business point of view. And obviously new players coming into the game. There's a whole mathematical thing behind it, whatever. But yeah, I mean, getting players into late game is more valuable than anything else. The late game scene is a bit staggering at the moment. When you lose a late game player, it's so hard to replace them because the effort needed because of the game's age to get a new player into late game, it's climbing mountains. It's climbing mountains. It's a very difficult thing. And then we have the gold tokens, which again is giving valuable to a currency that's been in the game for months and people have been stockpiling, and slowly that makes the currency lose their value. There was also a Gear 15, 13 plus chest that you could buy. You could buy 5 of them for 15 of these Shadow Talismans. Again, I don't see any negative impact on this. You have your gold tokens. You consider how many characters in the game there are and how many gold tokens you need. What are you losing, really? All this is forcing people to do is spend their currency. Spend the currency. I bought the 5 chests. That was, so what's that? 75 of these prisms, Shadow Talismans. When I consider that I am also going to need those Shadow Talismans in the future to get the Arcane stars on the event heroes I didn't max out, like Sharia, for example, who I still need about 200 of these for, there is no disadvantage to making this currency usable. You burn it out, players need to think of how they use it, it becomes a valuable currency. Age of Magic has always had this disadvantage to itself where it quite easily makes currencies useless. People just stockpile them so quick. Playcott doesn't add ways people can spend the currency to keep it low. They've done a lot better lately. They've added events, obviously, where you're burning currency. There's nothing wrong with burning currency. There's nothing wrong with a company depleting your currencies. As long as you are benefiting from it. As long as you're gaining something from it. And I think something like this is a perfect example. You gain from this, but it's a costly trade. These talismans will eventually become very useful, very usable, and scarce once you start spending them. And that's going to make a player decide, do I really want to buy gold tokens with these, or do I want to save them for the 6th Arcane star in my event hero, unlocking my event hero? Remember, all event heroes are going to eventually be using this. I think Catfey and one more still don't. Catfey and Lilith still don't use this. So, or maybe she does. I don't know. But you see what I'm trying to say. Give a currency value. Make players decide how they're going to spend it because it's an important choice. You won't have any problems. This isn't going to be something you introduce and all of a sudden it's already got no value because players have so many of them. It allows you to release more of these events. It keeps players happy. It helps people get into the end game. And there are still those avenues where, as a company, revenue can be made. Because, yeah, you still need to work towards Gear 13, 14, 15. You still need to get prisms. You still need to get Arcane stars. Like I said, you're releasing 2.5 heroes a month. These aren't just, you can't just click your fingers. You just can't get these heroes to an extremely usable level. And in the future, we're going to have clan wars. We're going to have, obviously, more raids are going to come. I assume there will be other game modes, hopefully. Fingers crossed. I'm praying for some more PvE content. I hate PvP. Absolutely hate it. I just want a PvE game. And yeah, just give things value. Keep people happy. And just go from there. I honestly think this was a really good event. And I haven't seen any negative feedback. I've gone through a lot of the feedback in the Age of Magic server, in my personal server. I'm not including bugs. I just shoot myself in the foot if I include bugs. But the event itself, I have not seen any negative feedback on this at all. Players seem very happy with this. If I'm wrong, by all means prove it. Leave me a comment. I love a little bit of an argument with someone. I love it. I live for it. Live life. Live, love, lasagna, whatever the saying is. But yeah, overall, I'm pretty happy with this. I think this is a good step for the game. I think it's a healthy step. I think it's getting people a little bit more progress into that late game. But there you go. I just wanted to mention it. I thought it was worth mentioning. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below. I will answer it to the best of my ability. And wherever around the world. Until next time, please take care of yourself.